How y'all doing today? My name is Brandon. I'm coming to y'all to chat with y'all today about some, share some knowledge, power of our minds and how we can change our reality. You um, as black people as a whole, not just for black people, but because I'm a black man, I am speaking to my brothers and sisters because I'm speaking to my brothers and sisters today because we 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 come into a day where we won't change and we won't uh, justice and all these things and all that. And justice is, I don't know about it. I don't really want to speak on justice, but I just want to speak on change, honestly. I want to speak on change and what we can do collectively as a whole, as a people, and what we can do in our individual times, as individuals, because it starts with us, You can't do something with somebody else that you're not even willing to do it yourself. So, um, so with that, let's get started. So, I want to talk about the Bible first, and how, a lot of the brothers that I talk to always talk about how, shouldn't pick up the Bible, should never touch the Bible, you should never do anything because of what the Bible was used for. It was used to program people's minds and slavery and all of that. So when I speak from the Bible, I speak to my brothers and my sisters who still subscribe to the Bible to this day. And the reason why I speak to them is because even though we still subscribe to the Bible today, we all still have the same misunderstanding. Misunderstanding. We have the same misunderstanding. We have the same misunderstanding that all of us basically commonly have. So I'm gonna start off with Christians. I'm gonna use a couple of people who use the Bible, and I'm gonna start off with Christians. Christians use the Bible, and Hebrew Israelites. Good people, real good people, because there's nothing wrong with a little religion. If you're good, if your everyday life is good, you walk good, you treat people good, and you are, just a kind human being and a loving human being, then I don't care what your religion is. I don't care what you believe. I'm pretty much in the same boat with you. So you can believe in Jesus Christ. You can believe in Allah and all that. I have no problem with none of that because I'm all of that. I like to look at myself as all religions because in my life I've learned, on this path of consciousness, I've learned a lot from each and every religion. I learned a lot from each and every religion. So, let's start off with change. Okay? So, a lot of us as black people as a whole, we won't change. We won't change, and we won't change right here, right now. Okay? So, I was listening to Kanye West, and I was listening to Kanye West's new song, Ye versus the People. I was listening to him and T.I. And I heard a report on there where T.I. said, if your election ain't gonna stop police from murdering people, then basically, what you talking for? If you making all this noise, you wearing the hat, all that ain't gonna stop the police from murdering people, then what you talking for? So, right then and there, we have to stop waiting on somebody to change something for us. You get what I'm saying? Donald Trump, Barack Obama, all of that, they can only do so much on paper. But when it comes to your individual life, then you shouldn't be worried about what somebody can do for your individual life, because you have the power to change all of that. You have the power, and not only you have the power, you're in total control. You just don't realize it. See, you in total control, but you driving the car off the cliff right now. You just, I mean, instead of realizing that you're in control and actually taking control, you drive the car off the cliff. So what I mean by that is, basically, couple things is, and we want things to happen, right? We want the police to stop shooting people, right? Number one, overall, we want the police to stop killing us. That's what we want. We want the police to stop killing us, right? So, I want to first start off by saying my condolences goes out to every family, every mother, every father who lost their son, or every child or who's lost their father or their mother to police brutality and just injustice. My condolences go out to you, and not in no way, shape, or form is this video going at you or towards you. This video here is just showing how, it's basically just to show how our thoughts and our actions, it starts with our thoughts though. Our thoughts is what shapes our actions. But our thoughts and our actions is what shapes our future, and not only shapes our future, but it shapes our children's future, because we pass on the same things that we feel are right, that we think are right, or we have an opinion that they're all right, but we have no understanding. We have no actual understanding of why we shouldn't do things, why we should do this, why we shouldn't become the thing. So, a lot of things that, one thing, I'm glad I started this. One thing that we suffer from now today as black people is that we get caught up in history. We get so caught up in history that it begins to infuriate us. It begins to make us angry, it begins to make us angry again, to where you would think we actually went through slavery. And it gets you angry to the point to where some people think of doing crazy things by going out and just killing innocent people, innocent white people, because they didn't get so caught up in the past that every white person looks like a slave master to them, or a person who benefits from slavery. And that's not how it is. The world is completely different now. Yeah, I mean, you still have deception. You still have people who gonna lead you in wrong directions and all that. Don't get me wrong, but with understanding, with control of your mind, nobody can lead you anywhere. Only you can lead you somewhere, because you are in complete control. So we get so caught up in the past. One thing we got to do is let go of the past, right? Let's start off by letting go of the past. And what I mean by that, should we forget slavery? Not necessarily forget it, but to a certain extent, we got to move on. I mean, it's a stain in American history. Let's say that it's a stain in American history, but let's move on. Even white people don't even like talking about it so much. And you think about this though. I want you to think about this. Because I told you how getting caught in the past can shape who you are now. Even getting caught in situations that don't even apply to you can shape what happens to you now. You get what I'm saying? So, what I mean by that is, or shape who you are now. And what I mean by that is, if white people sat around and talked about their history all day, slavery would not be over, number one. Number two, it would probably be tough. Like you have to be, because white people believed in dominance and shit back then. So you really had to fight to survive. You think going and having to get a job and work every day is hard. Just think about if you had to survive back then though. I mean, you couldn't walk the streets. You couldn't do anything if you were a slave. So we are no longer slaves no more. We are no longer slaves to physical bondage right now. Now we are become our own slaves. We are slaves of our own minds because of what we have made our reality. Right? We've made it our reality that if a white man ain't